Let me tell you one story about something I learned. Let me tell you one story about something I learned. Yeah.
Gonna hit you hard with the fast and the fury. Make your mouth drop like Jordan and Julie. Stepping on the court, dog, arm dangerous. Getting the score like Bobby De Niro. Don't approach us like no Gondoliero. Leave you looking like Eddie Norton. Straw in your word like Marble Martian. Wanna know why? The God sent we. Cause your belly full and your mind empty. All sound alike on BET. How many naked girls do you see? Like Miss Awalad, me can't believe me eyes. Won't stop rocking till the boat capsize. In the holy water, washing off your disguise. Always go back to your dirty big style. Damn big, you left them hypnotized.
Soldiers dance in the middle of the night, smoking trees and chilling with whites. Fridge got food and the kids shit tight. I got a big dog and him off at night. Soldiers dance in the middle of the night, smoking trees and chilling with whites. Fridge got food and the kids shit tight. I got a big dog and him off at night.
Walk on line like a high wire act.
Welcome back to another edition of the B4evaKool podcast. My name is Rexyfortyfive.
My name is TJ with 2 Wheels and Coffee.
What's going on, man? How's everything?
You know, everything is good. It's winter, man. We got some snowflakes. It's here. Finally moved my bikes away out of the cold.
Yeah.
And watching Biker Boys on repeat. It's that time of year.
That's the movie you watch every year?
Oh, yeah. You know, that's to keep, I don't know. It's just keep the feelings right.
Yeah. That is a. I haven't watched that movie in so long.
I need to do a part 2, man.
Right? Seriously. The grandkid need to come out, right? And try to represent. Have a series like Fast and the Furious, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And build it out.
We should be on like Biker Boys 8 right now.
Right. E-bikes.
Exactly.
No.
How about you?
Not too bad so far. My bike parts finally came in for the new build. So I'm excited about that. I got the livery design all set. So, I can't wait for everything to come together.
Christmas came late for you, huh?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, Christmas could definitely. Probably a lot of people would just, since the pandemic, shipping has just been horrible. So a lot of people are just waiting for stuff. And I think I ordered my parts like maybe the middle of December. And they came like last week.
Yeah, I haven't bought anything, so I don't know how shipping works right now. I know it's probably terrible, but when I'm looking for a helmet that I need, they don't have any available.
Yeah. So
I can't even get the shipping part.
No, seriously. So that's been, the crazy part. So, I'm not doing the build of the bike, so that part is kind of good. I don't have to stress about that. I was hoping to start racing next month, but just the way this year is looking, I'm probably not going to get out there until April. So I might do CMP in April, I suppose. It's tricky because there's 3 rounds. Well, there's I think with CCS, Azra, and Neymar, there's like 3 races that month. So I got to pick 2 out of the 3. I'll probably do 1 local and one of the other ones. I don't know. I might do all 3.
Well, April will be here sooner than we know it. I know I'm stressing about the winter, but time's flying. It's like almost February already, And then what I do know about racing is like if the race is coming up this weekend, you have to be like packed and ready the week before.
Pretty much, and get your days in. Yeah. If you're taking days off, work that schedule out already. Yeah. I'll probably put in all my days off for this year because I pretty much know what rounds I'm doing this year. It's probably gonna be mostly between Neymar and Azra this year, but get all my days off and get ready because it's we're already, like you just said, the month is almost done, and
once it's a week before, you're like excited for the whole week.
Yep.
And then that's just an extra week ahead. So time's coming real soon.
Exactly. So I just been working out. I don't have anything else to buy for the bike. I have everything already scheduled. So that part is a little bit, and I shouldn't say stress because I still gotta pick up bikes and drop bikes off and stuff like that. But So all that's kind of in line. Really, it's just trying to stay in shape, trying to stack some cash so I can deal with whatever comes this year, and see what happens, man.
Yeah, that's the plan. You gotta stack some cash.
Always got to stack cash. That I don't think that start regardless. And this is a very expensive sport. For anyone that don't know or is trying to get into it, it's very expensive. I mean, so just to get, it is what it is, but it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Speaking of fun, the classic is the big rave of the motorcycle community, probably in the U.S. if not somewhat global.
So yeah, what I know about I didn't know much about the classic before I raced. So when I started riding, I used to ride up to Laconia Bike Week,
Mm-hmm.
And during that week, the classic is going on. So it's always a good time in the area. But the classic is really, a big event, and this is the 100th classic, and it's been promoted pretty well. And it seems like it's all over. Everyone knows about it because there's a big pot involved, and we finally got names involved. And I'm going to be a spectator, so it's going to be good to watch.
Yeah.
And I heard there's going to be 48 participants, like to try to qualify,
Right.
something like that. 32 on the grid, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, some huge names.
Yeah.
Big names.
Yeah. So like when I started riding, I watched Moto America over MotoGP at first because I wanted to see like local riders or U.S. riders, just
Mhm.
more comparable,
Right.
Since I was getting into track riding. So as a watching, got familiar with good names, and then now to see who's showing up is going to be a good sight to see. Josh Herring is one of my favorites.
Right.
So, we got some big names coming up. So
No doubt.
we got like Gus Rodeo, Tyler Scott. Let's see, Josh Herring.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else we got?
Scott Greenwood.
Oh yeah, the local is Scott Greenwood. It's going to be also good to see Eric Wood.
Yeah. Yeah. He's coming out on a 848 built.
Yeah. I mean, I always been in races with him, past me and stuff like that. It's good to watch him race, and but he's never been in like the Dash for the Cash and stuff like that. So it's going to be good to see him in a competitive race. And I haven't seen him in the classic either. So
Yeah.
but yeah, we got like Scott and Sam Greenwood, and a couple of the riders that I've rode with before, like Ian Beam, Eli Block's going to be a good one as well. And,
Mm-hmm.
his class with Eli Block and T Cobbs.
Yep.
Yeah, some good names out there.
Yeah. No, I think so. And I out of those 48 people, it's going to be interesting to see the 32 and just even the qualifying. Like the qualifying is going to be so much fun to watch.
So they were doing the math. So I watched the video online when they were talking about it, which was a cool video. They said like the qualifying time is gonna be like 1:14.
Oh no, I think it'll be lower than that. I mean, maybe this might be the slowest. Might be the cutoff.
The cutoff.
Yeah.
1:14. So like, to qualify, like if you got to run that time, that's pretty fast.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a pretty crazy scene.
they're gonna have to come out the gate from the first round and practice. Do the practice sessions on Friday. And race the weekend and push, and they get 2 rounds to do that. There's no track days in between at Loudon, so really, I figure as experts, I guess they can probably get in about maybe 8 races, depending, unlimited and all that. So they're gonna have to put a lot of seat time in. The new folks, they're gonna learn quick as far as the pros, but they still got to get some seat time in. And the guys that are maybe 116, 115, they got to get seat time in to come down to qualify. It's doable, so it's gonna be fun. I mean, probably from the first round, those expert practice sessions.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna see some people pushing.
I always wanted to see how a professional rider from elsewhere will come to a local track compared to how we do, and to see what times they run. So it's gonna be interesting. But I am rooting for a local rider also
to win it
pull it out, or be on the podium. It'll be cool.
for sure.
Yeah.
It definitely it's going to be very cool. Just the atmosphere in general from the buzz, because like I said, everyone is talking about it. They know about it, and they're people are already talking up side bets, and I think a lot of these riders especially the local ones, are excited to be part of this and get their name in the history books.
Yeah, and the excitement to me is it's so real. So all these names that are coming out, and for the past 2 or 3 that I watched, Shane Arbonne won.
Yep.
And he's won like the past, I don't know, like 9 or something like that. So no one's even mentioned his name either. So it's gonna be a fight out there. It's gonna be fun.
And qualifying is going to matter.
Oh, yeah.
It's the top 8 riders will have the best shot, because they got the best opportunity to get clean out of turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
And go from there. So it's going to be interesting.
And it's good because it's gonna give us a lot of feedback too. You want to see like what top riders can do, certain corners, and just be amazed and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like I was telling one of the guys last episode, it's the classic last year was fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
and being really like first 3 revs gears going into turn 1.
Yeah.
Got the whole shot.
yeah. So
it was a good one.
So I think this one's going to be even more top notch, and seating it shouldn't be an issue, because hopefully you'll go into NASCAR seats and enjoy it from that part of it, because you want to see as much as the track as possible.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And like the bowl and turn 1 tends to be the best places, unless you can be higher up on top of your trailer or whatever, or just go up and check out the seating. So I'm gonna try to scope out good view, so I can see as much as possible, even if I got to get binoculars just to follow the bikes around the track, because every part of the racetrack is going to be fun to watch, because Loudon is one of those tracks where gas brake, and the straightaways is a short straightaway. So other than that, it's a lot of fun to see.
It was long for me at first. Now it's getting shorter. But for these guys, it's probably like
Oh yeah,
it's no straight for them.
Exactly. It's Summit. I enjoy watching races at Summit Racetrack. I enjoy watching races at Blackhawk. Even Jersey. Jersey, like turn 1. The fast bikes. It's so much fun to watch and see these guys and gals. Do their thing. So and Loudon's is just as fun. So can't wait.
Oh yeah. So when is that date? It's the 3rd round of the year. The Loudon Classic, I believe, is June. I don't know that exact date right now. June.
I think it's the 18th, 19th. You're putting me on the spot, so I gotta look it up now. But I think it's the 18th, and it used to be 3 days, right? But now it's not. We'll have to.
Yeah, June 16th.
Yeah, there you go. 16th to the 18th.
Yep. So I think the Classic's on the 17th, like the.
Yeah,
Saturday.
it's gonna be the Saturday. And practice sessions on Friday. It used to be Thursday, Friday, and then last year, I believe, was the first year that it was Friday only. So that's the other part. If they had 2 days of practice sessions like before, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
But it's it's very expensive to run a race series.
So I know if you're interested in getting into riding, this is the perfect weekend to come up and check it out, because not only the Classic is going on, there's also Laconia Bike Week, where you can go up to Weirs Beach and ride around all over.
Exactly.
There's a lot of events going on. So
Right.
it's a good weekend.
And they have had vendors in the past, Yamaha, BMW.
Oh, you could test ride bikes too.
Yeah, exactly. So you can test ride bikes. I
the
think
new ones.
Indian was there as well last year. So there's a lot of fun stuff to do. There may even be drifting happening, or it's a fun time to come out. All the weekends are a fun time, but that one is going to be huge, and it's going to be cool to see these folks ride on the limit.
Yeah.
So so have you figured out how many classes you're running in this year?
No, I really haven't. I just kind of choose like 2 or 3 races to pick, Saturday or Sunday. I'm still trying to find myself where to fit in, but I like doing the middleweight Grand Prix and then the heavyweight superbike.
Okay.
For the amateur class. And that's what I usually run on a Saturday, and then Sunday I try to run a couple races as well, but not sure yet. I'm sure I'll figure it out.
Got you. Yeah,
I got to start saving money too.
work, as they say, to get ready for the race week, and I think we're all in that boat, the getting money part. I'm at Loudon. I'm probably gonna do. I have no idea yet, actually, but I'm probably gonna do 300 Super Sport and Superbike, and I'll probably do probably one of the Moto 3 races as well. And I might run the R6 there this year too, so we'll see. I'm still on the fence about it, but we'll see. I like riding that bike, so we'll see how it goes.
He's on the fence. You got that itch, like, should I do it? Should I not? Should I not run it? As soon as he gets there, if he braves it, he's like,
yeah. If it shows up, I'm running it. But this year I was planning just to run the KTM, but it's one of those things like I've been running R6s now since 2016, so it's kind of like weird not riding it this year. Already feels weird, so we'll see. It is gonna have to come out for at least a couple of rounds.
Got to.
You know what I mean? So definitely looking forward to when the season starts. For me, like I said, it's already started for people. Now winter training and stuff like that. There's a lot of folks out there that I see got their ice tires on their bike, and they're ready to go out. The unfortunate side is there's not a lot of place that's cold. That's usually like a lot of places. Usually, the ponds are usually frozen over. That's not happening this year.
So I don't know much about ice racing or ice riding.
Right.
I don't know the real term for it, but is that real training, or is it just like?
Oh, for sure. It's I think regardless if you're going to a go-kart track, right? That's training. I think.
I feel like if you're riding on ice with spikes, like I got to be more careful.
Oh no, you have more grip from what I hear.
To training.
Yeah, from what I hear, you got more grip than slicks. It's very, because it's digging in.
Oh yeah.
So it's very grippy. But just keeping yourself sharp and keeping your mind, keeping yourself focused is the part that's most important, and I think some of them are competitive, so it is a series, but there's other times that people just go out and just go ride here in New England. I mean, so I was hoping to do it, and schedule hasn't allowed me to do it. The last few years I've been wanting to get into it, but my schedule is just ridiculous. So I haven't made it, and then I think at the end, and this might be my last opportunity to do it, but we'll see how it goes, because from what I hear, it's a lot of fun. Obviously, it's a little chilly, and I like to be warm, but heated gear and adrenaline goes a long way.
Oh yeah, definitely looks fun. I want to do it one day, but yeah, I didn't know they do it for like training purposes. Thought it was more like just a winter activity, like going snowboarding or something like that.
Well, I mean, depends how you look at it, right? But I think it could be a combination of both, right? I think for some people it is training. For other people, it's a winter activity. You know what I mean? I think it depends on who you are. For me, it would be training, because it's just more opportunity to be on the bike, changing gears, going fast, trying to find my limit, that type of thing. Where if you're just sitting around, you sitting around.
losing time.
Losing time, you know what I mean? So even on my street bike, I try to ride my street bike in the winter. And I mean, like I said, I have heated gear, so I'm staying warm. Just to get, shifting gears and just riding and get a feel and being on the bike, because 3 months off the bike is a long time.
Oh yeah, it is.
You know,
I try to stay sharp by just watching videos and reading up on, new techniques and stuff like that.
right?
Playing MotoGP video games sometimes, keep my mind fresh on the lines, but it's hard for me to do winter riding.
Yeah, it's hard for a lot of people. Trust me, I don't see a lot of
don't-
folks out there.
I don't have heated gear, but I have a lot of gear that keep me heated,
Yeah.
but not as long. So.
Yeah. I mean, even
Okay.
I think even if you get out for 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying, 15 minutes, even if you go around the block a few, you know what I mean, just obviously, it's one thing when it's 38 degrees out. It's another thing when it's 28 degrees out, right? So it's harder to go out at 28 degrees, but it is, up here, it's like I said, it's harder. But that is the challenge of up north. You got to figure ways to kind of stay sharp. And MotoGP game is nice. I played that as well. It's funny. Like last year, I wasn't playing it as much as I used to, and I noticed the difference. Just because I'm not keeping my eyes moving, and I realized you got to practice, as often as you possibly can, regardless if it's riding, learning or whatever the case may be, just to stay sharp. So a lot of folks go karting, to stay sharp and stuff like that. And the cool part is there's indoor go-kart tracks that you can go to and get some laps in.
Yeah, we got one close to us that actually got like a real track with like inclines, tunnels and stuff like that. So it looks like a real track. So you can actually run some lines.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. You can definitely run some lines, and and that's that. I mean, it's no different than going going on a mini bike or anything like that. And folks, you see the top riders, regardless in the world, they're training on all type of equipment. Just to stay sharp. It's not like it's a fixed thing anymore. It's racing, regardless if they're doing bicycle racing, road racing, like Scott Redden and Alicia Spargo, or you're running, these. I wouldn't say even some of these guys run marathons and all these different Ironman things or whatever the case may be. You're always challenging yourself in your body to get better.
Yeah, see, that's the off-season training I've been thinking about. We're going to the ice with spikes. I'm like, what?
Hey, man, you gotta get out there. Try to get out there next year, man, and try to see how it is on the ice. It's crazy because we were talking earlier. It's a very expensive sport, and to get those tires done is very expensive. You might be like talking about $1,200, $1,000. To get the tires done, and you could do them yourself, but if you ain't got this, you're talking about when we're safety wiring and drilling holes, we know when someone that's done that to their bike and stuff like that, and they put the time in, but that's a lot of work, and it's, if you can pay for it, you go that route. But obviously, if you can't and you feeling you got some weekends to do it,
Yeah, I skied over a pond a few times. Never been on the two wheels though.
Yeah, you got to get out there, man. That's what it's all about. So I can't wait. The MotoGP is happy. So how can I put this? MotoGP is not allowing journalists to come watch the winter test in Sepang.
So, me just starting to follow MotoGP recently and very into it and getting to know all the riders, where they come from, stuff like that.
Right.
Media is very important to the MotoGP world. And when they're on the off season, the best way to get the news out is to have the media.
Right.
So they're doing the winter test, right?
Yep.
And then I'm not sure they're allowing access for media.
No, that's what I'm hearing right now, and a couple of the manufacturers have came out and said they should be, with YouTube and all these platforms and all these different, vloggers and bloggers and stuff like that. And the motorcycle community is huge. A lot of these manufacturers now, they invite all these top YouTubers and stuff to come to their to test their new bikes, right? And because they know people watch their shows or listen to their podcasts or whatever the case may be, which in turn, they come in and buy bikes, and that works. So, for MotoGP to come out and do that, I think it's just trying to have control over the content. Like Formula One now got to deal with Netflix, and MotoGP has a deal with Amazon. So I don't know if they're just trying to control all the narrative themselves, which on one hand is great for them, but on the other hand, I think they're closing themselves off to fans that they may not have access to.
But I don't see what the secret is. Like it's not like the riders need the privacy. Or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
The riders don't want them, and I guess
Yeah, I think the writers, they don't care. I don't think the writers care at this point. I think the manufacturers may care more about what information gets out, but I don't think it's a secret when I think there was already a test right after the end of the season, and so journalists were there for that. And so I don't know, what the big deal is. But like I said, I think it maybe has something to do with just trying to control content, and that's not always a good thing in today's market. So it's good to see the manufacturers pushing back. Hopefully they'll change that, because as we were talking about this off season, we look to events that are happening for us to keep our minds engaged until we can go ride again.
Exactly. And prepare for the time to come too.
Yeah, because I consume a lot of I watch a lot of old races. MotoGP, World Superbike. I watch Moto America races, BSB, the Australian, the European. The Isle of Man. So it is for them, for MotoGP to kind of not have anything outside of just the content that we already have access to, and nothing new for the course until the new season start. It's that I like the last few years I was just kind of like, they should do more, because it's like nothing's really happening, and it's not fun.
One of it is because it's a bigger season coming up this year, because they have Saturday races now, the sprint races, and the actual finale MotoGP on the weekend on Sunday. So, I don't know. I'm gonna have to read up on more on it, but I don't think it's fair. I want to get some more content on what's going on before the season starts.
For sure, you want
to, like in sports, in the off season, you want to see who's getting traded before the season starts, what's going on, new uniform colors, all that. You want to know.
Yeah, you want to. You want to start rooting for your riders, right? You know what I mean. You want to see what Alex Marquez is going to do on that Ducati. What what's his name? That just went to Aprilia there, Oliveira.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see what what is the rookie that went over, Fernandez, how he does on the Aprilia as well. So it would be nice to see all these things and testing and get an idea instead of waiting for the first round to start. So hopefully they'll change their mind, but who knows? World Superbike, Danilo Petrucci is now he's going to be on a factory bike, a factory Ducati, same setup as, not necessarily same setup, same bike as Alvera. What do you think about that?
I think Petrucci is a good rider. I think it's a good, he's used to Ducati. I mean, he's always been on Ducati, and I don't know, he's never been in World Superbike, but he can compete.
Yeah. No, I think that's amazing that they believe in him that much.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for the other two guys. There's another factory rider, so he's all set. I think it's Ronaldi. And I'm trying. My mind is, I gotta look up the other rider that's on a satellite team
for World Superbike.
For World Superbike on a Ducati. That he ran well last year. I think he finished 4th or 5th overall in the series. So it'll be interesting to see what happened because I assume Danilo is going to end up getting a factory seat if he does well, and he knows a lot of those tracks already. He rode the V4 here, here last year in the U.S. and finished second in the series. So I think that it'll be interesting to see what happens next year for him. I'm a fan of his because when he was a police officer before he got into MotoGP, and he worked his way. From finishing, 19th, 20th in the old races. I think he was in 2012. I think might have been his first year, or 2011 might have been his first year in GP. And he works his way up to getting the factory seat. 1 year deal, but he worked his way up and won some MotoGP races. He won that race with.
He got his first podium in Mugello in 2018.
Yeah, and he beat Dovizioso and Marquez in the last corner at Mugello to win Mugello. Yep. I think it was Dovizioso. So I'm rooting for that. It'll be interesting to see what Gerloff does on the BMW this year. It seems like he's liking it. I think the end of last season with Scott Reddin finishing higher up in the top fives in a few races, even got on the podium with that BMW. I think it's exciting. So it'll be interesting to see what BMW does this year.
There's a lot of competition in World Superbike though. So you guys, Jonathan Rea, you still got Top Rock, like the guy who
won it the year before.
Breaks in turn one with the rear wheel up and still makes the corner. Like he's tough, and he's an aggressive rider as well.
And I gotta assume they're hungry. I gotta assume Jonathan Rea. I mean, he's 6-time world champion, and I'm sure he didn't feel good losing to Top Rock, and I'm sure they both are not happy that Alvar won this year, and so those guys are gonna be hungry, and Alvaro is gonna try to defend his title. Now you got Danilo in the mix. Reddin probably the BMW should step up and be more of a contender this year. So it'll be interesting. Who's the other guy on the Yamaha? Is it Remy Gardner? Remy Gardner. He's going to be a rookie. I think he's on the Yamaha this year.
I think Remy just came from MotoGP, right?
Yeah,
what makes me upset is that he was fighting for that KTM seat, right? With they had Miguel and no, it wasn't KTM.
Yeah, it was KTM. Yeah. He did 1 year with KTM.
Yeah, and he kind of got pushed out because Miguel they chose Miguel. Miguel chose to stay. At the end of the year, I think they were waiting for Miguel to decide what he was going to do, and now he's moving to Aprilia.
Yeah, no, I think in Gardner's case, from what I read, they didn't like how he approached racing this past year. And
they say that he wasn't
a professional.
Professional. I remember that. We talked about that a while ago. I think that was kind of weird.
So they didn't offer him another seat, but they did that with Ika Lukuono too. You know what I mean? I found that KTM, the Tech 3 part of KTM, they didn't give riders more than they should have given the riders more chances, and I felt like that didn't happen for Iko Lukuono, which he's doing well on the Honda in World Superbike last year, and injuries and crashes, he might even finished even further up, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be hungry this season, and hopefully the Honda is going to be a good bike. So I don't like how they treated him, and the same thing. I mean, Remy Gardner is the world a world champion in Moto2, and you just let him go, and he's proven that he could ride well on a bad bike, because he in 2021 he was riding a 2019 bike, and I think he finished like top 5 or something like that. Even won a couple of races towards the end of the season, and that's how he got the KTM seat and won the world title for them, fighting Ramirez.
Yeah, and to me, he didn't do that bad for his first year in MotoGP for the competition that was out there, because you got so many guys running the same lap time.
Right.
The same time as like the first 10, 12 riders, and for him to come in the first year MotoGP, you don't expect him to be in that mix right away. So I thought he did pretty well, but for them to say he wasn't professional, and he jumped to World Superbike, so I think he'll do pretty well too.
Right.
I think the World Superbike feels stacked. Like,
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch that.
Yeah, no, World Superbike is a lot of fun to watch. There's a lot of fast riders out there, so I can't wait for the season to start. Unfortunately, it doesn't start until April. MotoGP starts in March. I'm looking forward to that, and Motor America
Starts in March, right?
I got to check.
The Daytona 200, I think. Is,
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that is correct. So
and I'm just familiar with that as well. That's a very interesting race. That kind of reminds me, or will be like the classic sort of. That's the first time I've seen so many bikes on the grid at one time. You know, at the start of the season, it was like 50-something, 60-something bikes to do the Daytona 200, and that's a classic race as well. So
it is. It is a classic race, and so I can't wait. The beautiful thing about it is there's lots of videos out there for us to keep ourselves busy until the season, or if we can get our own self out and go ride. So that part is exciting, and I can't wait. My name is Rexyfortyfive from B4evaKool podcast.
My name is TJ from 2 Wheels and Coffee.
We will see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.